make my apology again to the residents for any inconvenience because of the tram elevator on the Manhattan side being out, and because the lift is out. We have been much in crisis mode on many things, and this in particular. The cold weather, again, has not helped the situation. The elevator is old, the lift is, I guess, maybe overused. We've had a number of issues with our contractor, our maintenance contractor. And there have been a number of issues with the protocol as to who is responsible for pushing the button twice to get it going, to helping people with their issues in getting into the elevator. And now it's made clear, we have talked to the tram people, the tram operators are not responsible for those things. They are responsible for notification to various RIOC personnel and PSD. That we have now developed a protocol, which there was none before, which is why sometimes we knew, sometimes we didn't. I can assure you that our personnel have been there. Santo, many of you know Santo. He has been here pretty much 24/7 dealing with the situation. What we are going to do now, hopefully not as often, because I think we have somewhat addressed the situation, is when we get notified of a stoppage, we will send a PSD officer on the other side. We can't lift the strollers. Because some of these strollers are huge. You can't do it, and it will hurt. You can't jeopardize the personnel. But we will try to advise as to where to go and how to go, and help with the situation. And if it's not a PSD officer, it will be someone from facilities management. We also have hired someone in the engineering department with a great deal of expertise in elevators. Not that he's going to be able to fix everything, but he is certainly going to oversee the solutions, both the short-term and the long-term solutions.
Does he have a handle on whether it's a structural problem with the elevator containment, the
actually,
leaking, or is it a problem with the electromechanics of the elevator? Which
I can't speak to it, but I did read a report, and Jim will speak to it. Let me. This is just the overview from a non-engineer. And as to the operational situations, actually, we did get a report from Fred, or the new engineer who started Monday, eliminating those issues. And what we will do is we have to get the lift fixed, and that has traveling cables that have to be done. It's approximately a $12,000 job, and those have to be ordered, so we have to do that. Then with the elevator, there are certain things that need that quick fix that we will do. We have to then decide, how we do it, so we have one in operation, the other one. For the long-term solution, and that is going to take approximately a year from start to finish.
The long-term solution
is to get a new ADA elevator.
we're talking about that since
Right.
the tram was very built.
But now we're talking about the time period, and Jim will explain why. A reasonable time period. That we'll have a new ADA elevator, and then we'll take the current elevator, refurbished, and have that as a backup. We will have to go to the city to get, because we'll need a little more of their property, but it's not a huge amount. We don't foresee any problem with that. Cross your fingers.
Well, after the other property, we had negotiations. I'm sure they can give us a couple of feet to put an elevator in.
One hopes. We probably have to give back money. But in any case, so that's our long-term solution and the short-term solutions and the protocol. And we also have an RFP going out tomorrow, the day after, for another maintenance company. So, we have that's there. And now I'll turn it off to Jim, who is an engineer and can really speak to issues.
So So what's up, Doc?
Well, most of the problems are
It's gonna
not
live.
electronic, or whatever. They've been basically mechanical, and they've been with the door. All right.
Okay.
The things that have happened is that the inner door closed, the outer door didn't close because it slipped past the latch. All right. The track has gotten water in it. The water's froze and knocked the door off the track.
That makes sense.
Okay. And the bottom part of the and most have been with the lower door. The bottom part of the lower door is a thing called a Gibbs, which keeps it in the track. Which last week we spent 2 hours and put a new device on the bottom of it temporarily. So
Right.
it's not that the piston is not working right. It's not that the buttons are not working right. It's
No,
not
they're related.
electronics.
Yeah.
Okay. It's basically mechanical problems that have been with the door.
And I'm gonna interrupt you 1 minute. There's another operational thing that we're all doing because of this issue is we have assigned somebody from from our staff to run the elevator and warm it up so the freezing doesn't, so we
Right.
an hour
doesn't help us if we don't know where the water's coming from.
an hour before it,
So, do we have a handle
But
on
I
the
think
water?
I think it's just the water is from either
People
cleaning
doing
they do on a platform or just rain and stuff. That's when it happened, when we got some rain and then it froze. Remember that one time we had that crazy
Well,
rainstorm
it's
and
been,
it got
it's
real
been
cold
in
after
operation
that?
for a really long time, so the issue, okay, when I look at it, if it's, you rule out that it's an electrical problem or a mechanical problem with the motors and pistons. So if it's water that's freezing, there's a couple of sources of the water. Either the tower itself is leaking on the roof and there's water coming down from rain, or it could be, because you have with the Gibbs, is that people track the water in on their boots and it freezes. And so the question is, if we keep replacing the track and fixing the door, it's going to keep breaking unless we figure out how to handle the water.
I think that's.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Do we
I
know
don't-
it's leaking and pouring down inside?
I don't have a hand on that. I don't think that's the case. I think it's
I
something
don't know,
that's being tracked in, but I'll look at that further.
Because otherwise they're going to keep fixing the track.
Well,
Over and over and over
one of the things that, like we said, we have someone starting the elevator up. We've also put in one of our facilities people on call, so if there's a problem, they can come in and do the things they know how to do that have gone wrong, get the thing running again. All right, and one of the specific things in the morning I told them to look at was the track. All right, and we put a shock back on that side so they can, if there's any water on the track, take it out.
I ran into a
It's frozen.
situation where they actually have electrically heated track. You turn it on and it warms it up, but it also has drainage holes in it. But I don't know if that's suitable for that spot, but they do
But
exist.
that's something to look at when we rehab the whole elevator.
Yeah.
We have to get a plan to rehab the whole elevator, and then another plan, and that's why Jim doesn't have the specific answers at this point, because we need that maintenance, and Fred, who started Monday, who has to look a little
No, I
more.
agree. It's great that you've got some operational changes in place to help to handle the situation. We're getting the folks in who are sitting there and cleaning the water out of the track and with a brush or something, wiping it down and making sure the door is moving. That's great that we're going to be doing that in the morning. But if we could figure out where the water is coming from,
That's our
Okay,
next step.
I'll look at
we might be able to solve the problem.
All right.
If it's people tracking ice in on their boots, it shouldn't be clogging that easily because it's been running for a long time. It's
Okay.
more likely there's water coming in either because of all the work we did on the repairs to the physical structure, that there's water leaking in from somewhere.
Maybe from the door. I mean, who knows? It's conjecture on my part.
Yeah, but it is annoying because we don't have the evidence, so we got to find where the water's coming from. If we can stop that, then we
Okay.
can cut down the amount of like manual intervention we got to do.
Okay.
Have the problems with the elevator been accelerating since the summer, or is this more of a concentration of events because of the extreme cold weather that we've had?
Well, I can only speak. I haven't been here since the summer. I know in the summer they did some kind of extensive work on the elevator in July or August. Since I got here in 9/16, the middle of September, all right, until that first cold snap was about the middle of December, I don't really remember any elevator issues. Since that time, we've had
There
elevator
were a couple of
issues.
down.
Well,
but-
I'm saying, okay, all
But
right.
I've seen I think 'cause I watched emails and we keep it on a note. It's been since it's gotten cold enough to freeze.
Yeah.
It's been going up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's why if it's ice building up in the track that causes door out of alignment, then we need to figure out where the water and ice are coming from. If we can just patch that or seal it up with some sort of temporary concrete sealant, or put in a rail guide to get the water away from the door or something, drain water away from
Yeah,
the door.
I mean, we do have a maintenance company, which
Yeah.
has been here a number of times, and
But they
that's
keep,
one of the issues.
they're elevator guys, they go up, they walk up, they
Right,
clean the
they
rack,
fix
they fix
the
the door,
first
and
thing.
the water
Right,
comes
right,
down
yeah.
again the next
Exactly
morning,
right.
so.
Okay.
Right.
We'll check into that. I haven't thought about it. I was kinda thinking it was tracked in or just from cleaning around there, but it could be that, I'll look into what you said. Okay?
That's the elevator. What's causing the lift to not work sometimes?
The,
Travel
the,
cable.
the lift has a travel cable which has gone bad. I don't know if you get what happened to it, but it's gotta be replaced. We just got a quote in from the elevator company today. It was today, I think, yeah. And it's like $11,975, so I get Fred checking into that. Is that a reasonable cost? And that cable's gotta be replaced
Yeah,
to get the
that's what
lift
we're gonna
going.
do.
I
Yeah,
was a
let's just
little
go do
annoyed when I found out it wasn't the lift was broken, because I was under the understanding it was working, because some time ago we were talking about the lift when we were having trouble before. And I know my mother was here, and I went over and I said, well, isn't the lift working? And I said, no, and it was, I mean, I was really
It
upset.
was refurbished when they worked on the tram.
Yeah, well, and it was, and that's
Was.
why I was a little annoyed, because they had worked on it
Yes,
before.
you're absolutely right. We don't know. We weren't here, and
I
we're
know,
just
I
sort of-
know, and
but-
we
but-
were told it was working. So when I found out it wasn't working, I said, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is talk about the lift not working, because that definitely should be working.
Yeah, and I think we've gotten what's wrong with it. It's traveling cables. So we're gonna put the traveling cables, and we have that. And we need, when we start working on the elevator, we need something else there. We can't just shut everything down. So I think the traveling cables are the easiest thing. Do you know how long it'll take to?
No, I don't. I have to sit down and, I just got the proposal,
Yeah,
I have to sit down and
Elevators union.
talk to them
Rush
about the
cable.
cost and then
Yeah, we have to
No,
rush.
no, don't say that.
find out the
like
lead
that.
time for the cable.
No, don't say that.
You know, we're gonna get this done, but I think we need to jump right away about getting this new elevator, because
We are more than
it's
jumping.
been how long, and I thought we were gonna jump right to this elevator when we had the tram, the new tram installed.
No.
Because it was, we talked about having it done.
It is, but
It's
remember
true.
they dropped it and separated it at that
Yes,
time
they did.
because the construction folks on the tram were running behind, and they pushed it as a secondary item, and they dropped it all together,
I
even though
forgot.
they were originally sold they're going to remodel the whole station and do all sorts of cool things and a new elevator, and then things got peeled off as they ran out of time and money.
And all we needed was a foot of space.
We have the money.
Yeah.
That's the good thing, and we have the money set aside for it. They have been working on the RFP for the design build, but it is going to take time. I mean, I don't want to say that, but we have like from beginning to end of the year.
Talk to our counterparts in the
Here.
city and get our permitting for the
Yeah.
space.
Sir, what is your name again?
Jim
Jim, and you are acting what?
Director of Engineering.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No, a year time to do it, maybe just for our benefit, just mention a few of the steps and where the time gets consumed. I mean, you have to construct an RFP, design, build, those are just a few words, what's actually involved.
Okay, then we have the RFP is they're working on, let's say by the end of the month we'll have that done. Okay, and then you have to, you have to post it, you have to get bidded, say that would take.
So how much detail is shown in the RFP?
What
Well-
the specifications of the elevator are, in other words, how much room you have to, where we want the elevator put, we have like a little sketch or site plan, right? What the lifting capacity of the elevator has to be, that it's ADA compliant, and what kind of features that you want, that you generally describe what the elevator is.
Engineering has to complete design specifications of sufficient detail for intelligent bids to be done.
Yes.
So the building design has to be shown, the requirements for the lift have to be shown. Our large project RFPs run at least 80 pages, as I'm familiar with. So it's a job just to create the RFP.